What's up, guys? Chuck Rucker, the host of Ruck's Place, bringing you a brand new episode of the podcast. This is, in fact, the first episode of the year, and I have the most amazing guest that we are going to be kicking off the season with. Her name is Aleia Lagonoy. She is a realtor here in Southern California with the Equity Union Group. I'm also told she sells real estate in Seattle, Washington. And after you watch this episode, I guarantee you guys that you will want this young lady in your corner for your buyer and your seller needs. I'm telling you, free-spirited, graceful, spiritual, perseverance, resilience, all of those things are just the tip of what describes this beautiful individual inside and out. I'm so happy to kick off the season with her, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy this episode. So stick around and let's hop right in. Family, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
How'd the movie go, or how'd the commercial go? How
Oh
was
my
that?
gosh, it went so good. It actually went according, I'm a very detailed person, so I was trying to get it like right on the dot, 9 o'clock, finish at this time, and everything went smooth. So I was like, yeah, we're getting it going. He's editing it right now, so
Ah,
just God willing, it's gonna turn out how I envisioned.
already, like you got it in edit. You are not
Oh,
playing.
no, I am not playing. I said 2026. We are getting the ball rolling. Well, I mean, the ball was rolling before, but continuously going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is awesome. Awesome. Okay, with that being said,
Yeah.
why real estate? What led you to this business? And what grabbed you? What bit you? What was Cupid's arrow through your heart for this business?
For sure. Well, I'll take it from the very beginning. I honestly never really thought about real estate. I grew up in the acting and music industry. So
Okay.
I was always in that industry. So I guess that's kind of where I got my grit from, my perseverance from, like those traits, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but it wasn't until I moved to California. And when I
Okay.
moved to California, it was around the time that the show Selling Sunset came on. And
Okay.
everyone was telling me like, "Oh, Alea, you should get your real estate license. You should, be on that show." I said, "Y'all, I'm a little too ratchet for this, okay?" At the time, I was like 18, fresh out of
Uh-huh.
high school. I was like, "Yeah, no, thank you." But then when I moved to California, I was taking a gap year from high school, and
Okay.
I was very busy with acting, and I told my mom, I was like, "Hey, I because I've always been studious. I've always been like super on it when it comes to my workload. And I told her, I said, I don't want to go to college yet. Um,
Mm.
I I know it's not necessarily about the money, but the time. And I'm doing really well in acting. So let me just focus on this for now and then figure it out after. Like, let's see how this year goes. One day she met my neighbor on a walk. My neighbor, her name is Linda Martin. Shout out Miss Linda. She is one of the heavy hitters out here in Santa Clarita. And my mom was telling her about me, and she was like, "Why doesn't she try real estate?" And then she invited me to a career night at Keller Williams.
Okay.
And my my ultimate goal is to be a real estate investor because my parents did that. So I've
Okay.
always been around business, and my parents, had investment properties in Seattle, where I'm from.
Yep.
So I was like, you know what? I'll just go. So when I went, I was like, maybe I should just get licensed so that when I'm a young woman looking at these contracts, no one can slip one under me. You know what I mean? So
Got you. Yep.
then I got into it, and then at first I was like, Lord, this is a lot harder than y'all was telling me. But but I just stuck with it, and then I started to help families, and I started to make an impact. And that's when I was like, okay, this is my calling. And so I laid down acting and being in the Hollywood industry, and then
Yep.
um, I picked up, hopefully, God willing, God's calling for my life, which is real estate. So that's my story. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
funny.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it's so interesting. We have some relatable things there. Like
yeah.
I spent some time in Seattle.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, one of my second daughter
Mhm.
went to school at University of Washington,
Oh, that's
and
right. You
so
did tell me that.
yeah,
Right.
so she did 2 years over there, And so
Mhm.
we were just back and forth. I was really back and forth
Yeah.
to Seattle and all
Yeah.
around that place because she wouldn't get on a plane by herself, right?
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and I
Right.
had a heck of a
Seattle's beautiful.
story. Oh my God, it was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And some of the places that we stayed, we were doing like Airbnbs while we
Oh,
were
yeah.
there. And
Yeah.
my God, some of the Airbnbs were like right in front of the ocean, and it was just like it was just such a it was a good time. But then Seattle got kind of small for us really quickly, right?
Yeah.
Because we sort of what my wife Filipina
Yeah.
introduced that word of gallivanting, right?
Yeah. Galabanting.
Gallivanting, right? So we have always been that kind of a family. So we would get in the
Yeah.
car and get all around Seattle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
uh and it kind of got small. We got to the parts where it was, what do they call it? The sketchy parts of
Yeah. The
Seattle.
hood. Yeah. The South End. You stay out of the South End. That's for sure.
Right? And then,
You
and
know, I
then
just turn it on. Like the South End, just like it never leaves.
right, and then we be over, we would stay at, I think we stayed at the Grand Marquis or something like that. I don't
Okay.
know, it was expensive. It was downtown Seattle.
Yeah.
And man, we just saw the disparity in the kids
Hmm.
over there, the college students, and what was going on over there. But still, all in all, we had her come back early.
Yeah. Okay.
After 2 years, she came back, went over to University of Santa Barbara, and then we got her. She came home one day and said, "Dad, I want to go to Singapore and
Mm.
finish my senior year in Singapore."
Mhm.
And we said, "What?"
Yeah.
Travel abroad program. We didn't expect to be so far away, so
Yeah.
to speak.
Right. Right.
But that's what
Definitely.
she wanted to do, and we put it together, made it happen, and
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in Singapore, which I had a great
Um,
time over there. So,
what a blessing
um,
it is, though. I would love, I mean, God willing, I get to be at a point where I get to like my kids can make a choice of where they want to be, the college they want to go to. I think people
yeah,
undermine that. And
yeah,
like nowadays, they don't realize like if you're able to get educated after high
hmm
school is free, unless you're private school. But like if you're able to go to university, your parents are
yep,
able to pay for it, dude, like
yep.
God bless y'all. That's awesome that you guys, got to do it and your daughter got to experience that too.
Yeah, well, private school, you mentioned private school. Private school
Yeah.
was the way for us. We got
Okay.
the kids into Flintridge Sacred Heart Academy, which is an all-girl academy,
Hmm.
very expensive.
Hmm.
However, a lot of wealthy kids pulling up in Rolls Royces and Bentleys and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Not me, right? But we were able to get them through school there, and they had a college program
Hmm.
that they reached out to these kids like in 10th grade, and they had to meet with a college counselor every week until graduation.
Hmm.
So they set them up really nicely, which a lot of public schools, I've talked to some people, and they'd say to me, "I've never even heard of that," right?
Yeah. Right.
You know,
Right.
and so
Definitely.
they set them up. She applied to 9 schools. She got an all nine. My
Nice.
oldest kid applied for 4 schools. She got an all four.
Yeah.
And, it was
Yeah, that's
just
awesome.
make it happen. Thank God for this business, real estate, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because it really helped us provide for
Hmm.
them and get them through those beautiful experiences.
Yeah.
So,
That's awesome.
okay, so then tell me what has been your biggest challenges in this business?
My biggest challenge, I would say my biggest challenge would definitely be the mental aspect of the roller coaster that this business is.
Yes.
Not even in regards to like 1 month you'll close 3 deals, the next month you'll close one, the next month you'll close zero. It's not even that. It's really the soul mental aspect of dealing with different personalities and then
Yeah.
close the deals and you're at a high and then still dealing with a difficult seller that doesn't want to lower their price and a buyer that is super picky and it gets mentally draining. And so
Yeah.
I think that's something that even to this day, all realtors, like everyone in this business, you go through it, no matter what stage you're in. But I think that's the biggest obstacle that, especially when I was first starting, learning the area, learning the business, gaining the business, and then dealing with the emotional roller coaster, that's the biggest obstacle. But
I could
I'm still
speak to that.
smiling.
I could. I could definitely speak to that. Like,
Yeah.
just even today, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got well, just this week has been so challenging.
Yeah.
I got a massive property right
Mm-hmm.
now currently on the market, and offers have been coming in, but I had to just really get someone said to me today, you got to get your seller to let the air out of
Yeah.
their price point, right?
Yep.
And had an offer a couple times into escrow,
Mm-hmm.
and families that came through the property that I felt like this was the one because of who the seller is, and I know what kind of family they would want to own
Mm-hmm.
their property.
Right.
You want to
Right.
match the right people with the right places if you
Yeah.
can. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Absolutely.
just not all about the money.
Mm-hmm.
The money is great, but it's a people business,
Yeah.
you know. And
Absolutely.
so this family comes in, young girl,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm always a fan of. I'm about girl power. That's just I got three daughters,
You're a
right?
girl dad. Come on.
I'm a girl dad, and I'm proud of it. And
Yeah.
this young lady, just in her 40s, she was dropping a couple mil,
Wow.
right?
Just a
And I
light
was,
but you know what I'm saying?
you know what I'm saying? She's dropping like 40 years old, and she's so humble.
Wow.
And I went to hand her the keys, and I had never had this happen to me before. She said, don't give me the key, right? Don't give me the keys." I said, "Why not?" She said, "It's just too heavy for me right now." Blew me away, right? So you never know who you're going to run into in this business.
Yeah.
But the whole getting through from time of acceptance, well, time from listing
Yeah.
to that perfect buyer or that buyer that's aligned with that property, you
Yeah.
know, to
Yeah.
get that acceptance. And then now you got to go through the 30 to 45, the 60 to 90, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
days, and whatever happens in between that time.
Mm-hmm.
It can be extremely draining.
Yeah.
And I knew that feeling. And you
Mm-hmm.
just spoke about it so eloquently, and how you deal with it. What is your release when you're going through, say, a difficult deal?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, that's a question. I'll leave that out there.
Yeah. God. Like, oh, I could tear up.
Uh-huh.
No, God, seriously. Thankfully, I found God. Um, it was a little bit after I got in this business,
Yeah.
but I felt the difference between before I started reading the Word of God versus after.
Okay.
And it just so happens at the time that I actually started to see the fruits of all of the seeds I had been planting for my first couple of years in real estate
Yeah.
was when I opened up the Word of God, I learned his character, and then I released it all, and then boom, my business started to flourish. But during the moments when I felt like I wasn't gonna get through anything, or I'm like, God, like, why can't I help me have a heart to understand what they see? Because if not, I'm gonna crash out, right? So when I open up the word, do to
Yeah.
others what you want them to do unto you. Like, you know, God causes all things to work together for the good of those who love him. Like, just repeatedly having these things in my heart and in my mind is solely what's gotten me through the hardest transactions when I'm showing 25 properties and then at the end they want to cut my commission and say I get paid too much. Like,
Yes.
I was only able to get through it through God. And also like having such a beautiful um community, like my family, my best friend, my man, especially my man. I feel bad for him some days. I'm like, I don't mean to be, I'm not a punching bag. You're not my punching bag, but listen, you're the closest person to me and I can't with everybody. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's God and then my sphere, my circle, my people.
Wow. I'm so blown away by that. You just blew me away. Like, just I just like a calm just came over me. Like, wow.
Aw.
That's beautiful. I'm so glad that you actually brought that up. That was perfect. I'm blown away, and I'm really I appreciate you bringing in spirituality, because that's what I'm about too. And you picking up the word, and finding what your place is in your spirituality. I've been in the spirit, I was handed a Bible at 6 years old,
Mhm.
which was decades ago. 100
Same
years.
No
It's
age, y'all. Just kidding.
so, I'm not never like, I am what I am, I just claim it,
Yeah.
and that's a part of who I am. And it's a part of, I put my kids into, they went to Catholic school. I am not Catholic, but they went to Catholic school.
Mm.
A lot of Filipino are Catholic,
Yeah.
and that's what their mother chose for them. So I was open to that idea of it just doesn't matter. I just need them to have a spiritual base.
Yeah.
And so when I hear you, a lot of people won't talk about that. They're afraid of that, or they're just finding their spirituality. And it is a journey,
Yeah.
okay?
Journey,
And
for sure.
so I have been, I've been getting up every morning for about 2 years
Mm.
between the hours of, say, 3 to 5. I'll say that.
Mhm.
And I'll just get into my word where everybody else is asleep, and I just have my time to be in the presence of God.
Mhm.
And I get to talk and read and study. And for a long time, when I was going through the scriptures, the words weren't popping off of the page in terms of understanding, right?
Mhm.
I was
Mhm.
just kind of reading. But like I
Mhm.
said, I've been reading the Bible since I was 6 years old and
Yeah.
just on and off, on and off.
Mhm.
But I just took the last 2 years to
Mhm.
commit. And it's a funny thing, I created habit in order for me to do that. And I have been preaching and teaching this thing about creating habits. Do something that you
Yes.
could do for 30 days, easy, something you're going to do anyway,
Yep. Mhm.
and do it consistently every day, even if it's just I'm going to eat at 3 o'clock, I'm going to have a snack at 5. And you find that the process of just doing that can
Mhm.
be now applied to so many other things
Yeah.
that towards that desired goal of whoever it is that you want to be in your life. And I did that with the Bible.
Mhm.
So I'm in the Word every single day, 7 days a
That's
week,
awesome. That's
you
beautiful.
know?
Mhm.
And I take a run in the morning and I take a run at night,
Mhm.
and purposely at night so I could scream at the sky. I could scream at God,
Mhm.
when I'm
Mhm.
going through whatever it is that I'm feeling. I'm
Yeah.
saying, where are you at? Why aren't you here? And what's going on? So I get to question, and God laughs at us. You know,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
can smile on us. He is everything.
Mhm.
But to hear you, young lady, say that,
Mhm.
that is, and to get emotional about it, that right there, I think needs to be shared.
Mhm.
And now I understand where that spirit and your energy comes from,
Mhm.
because it is anointment.
Mhm.
You're just covered,
Thank
right?
you. See that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's there, and share that, and thank you for sharing that. And so, with that being said, we'll get back
Mhm.
into my questioning of you, my interrogation here now. But okay, so you talked about the hard, you talked about how you found this business, or and your passion towards it. It's seen,
Mhm.
it's clear. You're
Mhm.
extremely passionate about what you do. I'm like, this girl is in an open house every weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like, when does she take a break?
Yeah.
And so, how or what would you say to a
Mhm.
new agent coming into this business who is thinking that it's a cakewalk for one end,
Hmm.
or that it's selling Sunset,
Yeah.
or selling Atlanta, or selling New York? What
Yeah.
would you say to a person just getting started?
I would say go into it with the right intention.
Mm,
And so my biggest thing is when someone approaches me and asks me, "Hey, I've been wanting to get into real estate. I've been thinking about it. I have a couple questions for you." I say, "All right, before you even get started with the process and spend your money, because they don't realize it takes money to do the schooling, to do the license, all that stuff, right?" I said, "Before
yes.
you spend your money, shadow me. shadow me when I cold call, when I door knock, when I do my open house, be with me the whole time and decide from there if you want to be in this business because it is a full commission job. It has a lot of elements to it that people don't know of. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to be in it for the right reason. You know what I mean? And you have to really want it. And it's, I mean, a lot of things in life are hard, but this business, it's very challenging. So you want to make sure that you come into it, having the right heart. Because if you go into it being like, I want to be on Selling Sunset, I want to make $1 million, I want to make a, nah, nah, nah," that's always when God humbles you real quick.
Woo.
You go into it with zero expectancy and with the heart posture of, you know what, whether I make one deal this year or I make 20 deals this year, I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay. But as long as I'm working toward my goal, which is to sell and to help families and couples and just to help people, right?
Yep.
As long as you have that heart posture,
Yep.
I mean, you're solid. You're solid no matter what your season looks like.
Yeah.
If you have that right heart, dude, you're gonna be blessed no matter what it looks like in that moment. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say to a brand new agent is to come into it with the right intention,
Mm-hmm.
know as much as possible. I mean, even like the realtors that have been in it for a long time, it's like, whoa, so many things are changing around me. But um, as long as you just stay educated and are open to learning and observing and you're up to date with everything,
Yeah.
like the best thing you could do for yourself as a new agent coming into this business.
It's to stay updated, to get it, educate yourself. And do you see, or would you consider yourself independent contractor, or would you consider yourself as an entrepreneur?
Ooh, can you define the difference in your terms? I would love to.
So, an independent contractor, we essentially we're like toe that line of employee
Mhm.
versus, just putting the whole thing together on
Mhm.
your own, like your brick and mortar or just your broker's license, where it all is up to you. You pay
Yeah.
everything, right? Versus you have a name behind you, right? When you join a company, say like your brokerage, if I could say it, right?
Equity.
Equity Union, where there's an office there for you. You have a place like office to drive to in the morning. Sort of 9 to 5 feel, you
Mm.
know.
And that's an
There's a
entrepreneur, you said, or that's an independent contractor?
That's an independent,
Oh,
right?
I'm definitely entrepreneur. I'm not like a 9 to 5 type
Beautiful.
of realtor. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Right. You got that. Listen, you got that, right. That entrepreneur, you look at it from an entrepreneurial standpoint. It's up to me. Like you mentioned, it's 100%
Hmm.
commissioned,
Hmm.
right? It is you motivating you. Again, that's the mindset
Yep,
of
exactly.
independent, versus straight. Like you said, I'm a without
Sound.
saying I heard I'm a hustler.
Exactly. Out there. I like.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question. Now, this is off script.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, for sure.
but I'm going to hit you with this question. Now, I ask everybody this question. What are you running from?
That's a good question. What am I running from?
Hmm. And that speaks to your drive. What are you running from?
Mm,
Now, that question, I'll give you a little more context.
yeah,
For most people that I have been able to talk to,
yeah.
and I have been able to interview mostly entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
real estate people, and so on, just people making an impact.
Yeah.
There is always something that in there, that dash between where they were born to, where we're going now, right?
Mhm.
And that final dash.
Yeah.
But something for the most successful people I've talked to
Mhm.
has them up and at 'em every day, all day, whatever, however passionate they call it, or whatever, to whatever degree that
Yeah.
they are finding success.
Yeah.
There is something that either they're running from or
Mm-hmm.
they're running to. I'm not
Mm,
letting you off the hook on what you're running from.
yeah. I can
All
answer
right.
both, actually. Well, I'm going to tell you this.
Okay.
I was very fortunate to have an amazing upbringing. My parents, they started young. They had my sister when they were, I think they got married at 19, had her at 20.
Okay.
And they didn't have anything. My mom, she came from the Philippines and all the things. They started their family young, so they didn't have anything. They worked so hard to get my siblings and I to be able to have a comfortable life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess what I'm running from is the possibility of not being able to give my kids what I had and more. Because
Yeah.
I would be I would be very upset with myself if I was given this platform, given a foundation so solid,
Yeah.
and I let it crumble because I made it into sand when my parents, made it a beautiful soil. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I would say I'm running from that. I'm running from the possibility that my kids won't get to, get to go to school. And I mean, I had a choice. I could have been like, "Hey, mom, I want to start school now. I want to," and or I don't want to start school. And they would have been like, "Okay, like we'll pay for it whether whether it's now or whether it's later." You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
was fortunate enough to have that. So I would say that's what I'm running from is the
Okay.
possibility of not having that for my kids. And
Yeah.
then what I'm running to, or that's technically like my why, right?
Yep.
I'm hustling now that I'm young because I want to be financially free enough to where I could take a step back for my
Mm.
business, not have to do so much footwork right
Yeah.
out there. And I could take a break from my business, be financially okay, and be a present mom. Like
Okay.
when I first started in this business and I met with the VP of our company, Equity Union,
Yep.
um, she asked me that. She was like, "What's your why?" And I said, "I want to be a present mom." Like I got to have that, and
Yeah.
I would love for my kids to have that. But I also want a good life, obviously. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, so that's what I'm running from, and that's what I'm.
Running too. Good. Excellent. Excellent. Let me tell you now, I have been in partnership on deals with some of the biggest, like honestly, man, it's insane, like
Yeah.
unheard of. It's funny because I talk to realtors all around the states, from New Jersey to New York to Atlanta, Chicago, Detroit, and some people, the price points that they work for, oh, I just
Yeah.
sold something for 65,000, and I'm like, okay. And then, yeah, I sold something for 220,000. I'm like, okay, the biggest deal I've ever done is like 500,000, and I'm like, okay, that was doing that 20 years ago, but
California real
it's
estate is crazy though. Like
right,
what
exactly.
our norm is their big check. That's
It's so true, and I was saying, not to take anything away from them,
yeah, oh
because
yeah.
the hustle, the game is the game. I say I've seen some deals that I don't. They're just ridiculous, and the triple digit millions,
No.
and we get to see a lot of deals because of what we do,
Hmm.
as another service in real estate, and then
Hmm.
what we do, we hustle.
Yeah.
But my goodness, it's the same business, it's the same paperwork, it's just the difference in the personality that you're dealing with and how much you are willing to bend,
Yeah.
the price points. And here's to my point,
Mhm.
with different realtors in my area, my neck of the woods,
Mhm.
it's interesting to hear vets who've been in here for 40 years, 45 years, 50 years. I said, you know what? I don't want to be 70 carrying an open house sign across the street. And I do see it,
Yeah.
right? However, they say, I only touch people between a certain price point, right?
Hmm.
I'm not dealing with anybody over $2 million
Hmm.
because I don't like the treatment, right?
Hmm.
I'm not dealing with somebody in the $5 million frame because I do not want to be treated in a certain way. Now, I have seen some of the biggest realtors dealing with billionaires and 100 millionaires, and they were treated like straight employees,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Like, and not only employees, like you're a staff member on my staff in the housekeeping staff.
Yeah.
And I was blown away by some of those treatments and some of those deals I set up, right?
Hmm.
But didn't know that that would be the outcome,
Hmm.
right? That realtor would kind of walk away not being as powerful as they are known to the public as, right?
Hmm.
But I do see, and here's bringing that point home. I was just with a girl the other day. I'm sure she's sold over 4, 5, 6 billion dollars worth of real estate. Get in her car and hit that gas so fast trying to get to the next appointment,
Hmm.
and we were walking out of a $12 million home.
Yeah.
All
Right.
right. End of open house, close, boom, in the car. I got no time, whew, straight to it.
Yeah.
So this business will do that to you if you become, without saying, I'm trying to figure, give it a better word for it, but not becoming so tied to it that it does not allow you to be that present mom because of the money.
Yeah.
You got to
For
learn how to manage the money.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, that's treated like a business, right? It is separate from who you are.
Mhm.
You're the face of the business,
Mhm.
but the business is the business.
Yep.
You got a bank account and the business has a bank account, right?
Mhm.
You got a set of needs and desires and your business has a set of needs and desires, right?
Absolutely.
So it's almost like you're taking care of a kid.
Yep.
Mommy,
Literally.
I need some new shoes. I need some new clothes. I need a book bag. I need to go to this school. Can you take me over here? That's what your business is. And you never want to get to a point where the personal side of you
Mhm.
cannot break away from the business side of you,
Yeah, absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I see it. Like I said, I see it. And it could be that they've made so much money. And because they've made so much money, they got so many expenses.
Mm-hmm. More money, more problems. I was just telling my best friend that yesterday. I said, girl, listen, do talk to me about no money problems right now. I made more, but I spent more too. That is,
Right?
yeah, yeah. But thankfully, and this is why I give major props to my parents, they've always trained me. Like I've always had two bank accounts because
Okay.
they've always trained me. They're entrepreneurs too. They have a home care in Seattle. And so they always trained me in
Gotcha.
that way. Like, hey, this is a business, or I would observe it too. I would watch how they discuss with each other. Hey, this is personal. Have this be on the business account. Have this, and just like that's how they live their life, and that's how I just naturally do my stuff too. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
Awesome. So you picked up from them. I'm telling you, I'm blown away by you today. I am so blessed to have you in my presence here to experience how you've dealt with and the things that you do. When you unlock yourself
Mhm.
so people can find you and you
Mhm.
want to be found because you know you have a light in you that some people need to stand under and they need to stand under it because they can't figure out how to turn theirs on just yet.
Yeah.
By you showing up, you
Mhm.
showed up for not only my audience, but for whomever is watching you as well. Right?
Absolutely.
And so all the bashful, the shyness that kind of goes away when you understand the purpose.
Oh,
And when you know, you're standing in front of people anyway.
yeah, right. And you know
People
what?
are coming in your open house all the time.
Right, right. And I always say, like, I'm in this business, I'm in this life solely just to glorify God. So I said, God, I don't care about how much money I'm making in this transaction. I don't care about whether I have to show them just one house or show this client 15. I pray
Yep.
that you use me as the vessel to get them where you need them to be. And when my
Yep.
mindset changed to that,
Yep.
like how I present myself solely
Yep.
is completely authentic because it's really like it's like out of my hands. I come as I am. Listen, if I'm too loud for you, go ahead. If I'm just right for you, perfect. I'm just his vessel. So
Yes.
that's yeah, I hope that adds
I
up to
love that. Listen, you are wise. I mean, I could tell. I see that spirit all in you. You know,
it.
you got an older soul. Trust me. You know, see you as you are or come as you are, and that's good enough,
Hmm.
right? We don't
Absolutely.
need to fake it. We don't need to, well, they used to tell us, fake it until you make it, you know?
Yes.
But then you get to a point where you're like, I'm not faking it anymore. I've paid my dues. And I
Hmm.
see you paying dues, right? And I see you, like my wife could say, because she's run agents, like, I mean, just supported agents.
Yeah.
She said, I could tell a star. It's like in the classroom, a teacher could tell the students pretty much, within, a certain range, who's going to make it and who's not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or who's going to make it to a certain point in a structured way,
Yeah.
an educational way. But you have come to learn that um, it's not all cookie cutter,
No.
right?
No.
It's not, the process is never perfect,
Hmm.
you know, and you learn that, all right, there's that saying that there's more ways to skin a cat,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just figure this out, when things don't go as planned, you know how to pivot
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
pull it back together.
Exactly.
So that's a beautiful thing. And I see you out there. I said, you know what? You make it look good. You dress the part.
Hmm.
Your spirit is in alignment. Your energy is so big. I hope you realize that it's bigger than what you know, than you think it is, right?
Thank you.
It's bigger than what you see
Hmm.
because it illuminates, and that ain't just you. Man, give your parents kudos for what they for the
Uh,
human being that they have produced.
for sure.
And
I'm gonna make them watch this. Well, they always watch everything that I'm in and stuff, so they're gonna see this. So thank you, mom and
I
dad. Shout out you.
yeah, shout out to mom and dad. I've
Yeah.
seen your mom in one of your open house videos, and I'm like, okay, now I see.
I've had, I kid you not, every single one of my family members and my man and my best friend, they've all done open
Yep.
houses with me. Not one person is
Ah,
safe. You enter my family, you are doing an open house with me.
right. You were part of this real estate thing, right? Pull them on in, right? That's a
Exactly.
beautiful thing. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful thing.
it
So
is.
stay grounded, stay rooted, and listen, uh, just in terms of, for me, I'll say this, even with my spiritual journey, sometimes we fall off.
Yep.
Sometimes we get upset
Yep.
with the God of our world, of our lives, right? And he understands that,
Yep.
he understands that he's the only perfect being,
Hmm.
and we're not perfect. We make bad decisions, we make bad choices, we do things that we're not proud of all the time.
Yeah.
But with him, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Always
So,
have to work together. Come on.
anything in closing that you want to say?
Well, first, I want to say thank you for like inviting me to be in this space. I know you knew this is my first podcast, so I know that's a risk when you invite people. Like, okay, hopefully they're somewhat filtered, but but I appreciate you and like you've always, kept up with me and like are always hyping me up. You and your wife, as I really appreciate you guys. And I
Yeah.
mean my biggest thing is just let go and let God. Just continue to have the heart posture that everything is like we are just stewards of this life and the things that we do. And
Yep.
every step of our life matters. Seriously. Every morning you wake up and you have the decision whether you want it to be a productive day or you want to just be stagnant and just be okay and content where you're at. That's
Yep.
up to you. There's free will. So I didn't get to where I'm at. I mean, I'm still growing. I'm not perfect too. I have my days where I'm like, I want to sleep. But for the most part, just like what we talked about this during this time is what is your why and sticking to that plan and having a routine set for you so that you can continue to move forward in life. That's my biggest tidbit for y'all. So yeah.
So, in closing here,
Mhm.
um, where can we find you? And I know I can find you because, girl, you always in the open.
I know you just look somewhere in LA. You see the corner of the street, you might see my face on there because I'm hosting an open house.
I love it.
In the rain, when it's pouring rain, when it's
Yeah.
steaming hot and no one else wants to do it, I will. I will have.
Yeah. I
Um,
noticed. I see you.
yeah, but you can find me. Well, first my website, Aleia Lagonoy, Aleia Lagonoy. equityunion.com.
Okay.
My Instagram, AleiaTL_real estate. And I just started up my TikTok, Aleia the Realtor. I do a lot of reels, and I'm like, why don't I just like do it on TikTok? Like the more exposure, the better. 'Cause I get leads from Instagram from my content on social media. So I'm like,
Oh, that's awesome.
take it to TikTok too. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Appreciate you. I appreciate you. And thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your light with me. And we'll be in touch. I appreciate
No,
you,
I'll see you
girl.
at my next open house.
I'll see you.